What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again. I'm sitting in the car, as you can see. Little one's asleep. Before any of the new subs come and judge me, yes, I'm in the car. I do occasionally do videos in the car because I've got children. It's 11 o'clock at night. I can't have them awake. Everton have confirmed the huge monumental signing of Solomon Rondon. He comes on essentially a free transfer, I believe, and will be Everton's third choice striker behind Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. It's a great move for both Rondon and Everton. He's a player that knows the Premier League. He's got experience playing with some massive teams like West Bromwich Albion and Newcastle, and he's got all the characteristics that Everton need. He can hold up a ball. He scores goals with his head. His last season for Newcastle, he got 11 goals and 7 assists. So look, he's a capable Premier League striker. Newcastle fans really liked him. So look, fair dues. Like, you know, all jokes aside, he's not a bad striker. In terms of going forward, Everton have made further additions with Demarai Gray and Andros Townsend, as we already know. And of course, Everton signed Asmir Begovic, and that pretty much completes Everton's recruitment. I did expect Everton to put in a cheeky bid for Serge Aurier. However, that doesn't appear to have happened. However, he is now a free agent, so that nightmare can continue to the morning and beyond if Everton really want. As you can see from the thumbnail, and I want to deliver a little bit of a shit sandwich here. So I'm going to talk about some positives, then a negative, then some positives. Let's get on to the positives. Demarai Gray, £1.7 million, the only money that Everton have really spent this summer. And he's delivered 2 goals. He's looked really creative. He looks phenomenal going forward. That's all positives. Andros Townsend, leader, coming in. We saw what he did with Richarlison the other day, knocking the ball out of his hand. Basically saying, you're being a petulant little prat. Calm down. Give the ball to DCL. Let's go and win this game. And he went and did that. And I can't fault the man for that. I've got no issues with them 2 signings at all. I have no issues with Rondon either. I have absolutely no issues with Rondon. I think Rondon will come in, bit of a fresh air, already gets the fans. You know, we've seen it before. I've mentioned it in previous videos today. You know, he is all about the fans, supporting the community. He's going to fit in really well with Everton Football Club. Fine, good, all for it. Fantastic. Asmir Begovic, experienced goalkeeper. Obviously, he was number 2 at Chelsea. He was the number 1 at Bournemouth, played really well. And obviously, we know him from further days. I think he was at Stoke years ago. And very good goalkeeper on his day. And hasn't really put a foot wrong for Everton. So, again, more than happy with those 4 signings, as I've literally just gone over twice. Now, let's talk about the shit. Everton have failed yet again to sign a right back, and this is an issue now that, in my opinion, goes back to 2018. Everton have not gone and got a player that I think is capable of getting into that first team. You know, Everton were there lashing bids on players like Diaz, £30 million plus James. I mean, firstly, Everton were meant to be crippled by financial fair play, so where the fuck did they pull £30 million from? And irrespective of that, why haven't they lashed it out on Max Aarons or a Lamperty, or go and get a right back on loan, a decent one, you know, where we can pay an upfront fee? Juventus, how many right backs have they got? You've just given Moise Kean to them on loan and all of that shit and permanent deal, whatever. Have they got a right back we can have? You know what? Why is it now that we go into this season with our 2 right backs being John Joe Kenny and Seamus Coleman? Again, I've got nothing against Seamus Coleman. I've got nothing against John Joe Kenny. John Joe Kenny, very simply, isn't good enough. Rafa Benitez is a fantastic man manager and makes players better. That's my only hope, that he somehow makes John Joe Kenny turn into like fucking in prime Maldini, but on the right hand side of the pitch. You know, I want this man to be like Cafu, up and fucking down, crossing balls, beating men, getting back, tracking back. Mate, he got caught out more times at Schalke than I've seen John smashed at a football match. Like, it's horrendous. Anyway, let's stop with the personal persecution there of John Joe Kenny. He's just not good enough. Simple. End of story. And I wish he was, because he's a local lad to Everton. He loves the fans. He loves the club. Gets on really well with some of the other lads. Like, I really wish he was good enough, but he's not. Then you've got Seamus Coleman, who has been the best £60,000 investment I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, my apartment here was £120,000, and I'm telling you now, I'd rather live inside. I'm joking, but straight up, Seamus Coleman's done now. He should be playing 10 games a season max, 15 games at a push. He shouldn't be playing 38. I mean, fucking hell, he shouldn't be playing 38. I think he had 3 thigh strains last season, or muscle strains. Anyway, he had a consistent reoccurring injury last season, and we haven't gone and done that. And we've been linked with players who were going to cost us 3 or 4 million. Buta was going to cost us £4 million. Linked. Nothing happens. Don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And if money was tight, do it on a loan. Just go and get a loan. But instead we haven't, and we're going into a season again without quality right back. And look, some people on here will say we signed Sidibe. You know, he wasn't good enough. He couldn't displace Coleman. Mate. I mean, fucking hell. To say we need a right back's an understatement. Like, genuinely, it's an understatement. So yeah, I'm not happy about that. And this is what brings me on to the thumbnail, the particular character in this picture. And I don't just mean me, I mean the other guy in this, which is Marcel Brands. I absolutely appreciate Marcel Brands had a really shit straw when he joined Everton. Shit show. £220 million, I think Ronald Koeman spent. Horrendous spending. Balassi, Klassen, Rooney, Sigurdsson. That's just to name a few. You know, that's if you class Michael Keane as being worth 30 million. Jordan Pickford as being worth 30 million. I don't know how you guys feel. That's your opinions, and my opinions would be different. But I don't remember a single player, apart from, unfortunately, the players that actually have now signed for other clubs, that really stick in my mind. And then players were Vlasic and Lookman, 2 young, exciting players that I thought will really get behind. And apparently, because Lookman didn't get the chances at Everton, he had a bad attitude, and Vlasic wasn't good enough after paying 19 times. It was fucking bonkers. It was absolutely bonkers. And none of the players we've signed in that era have brought in any money. Like, they've all gone on frees. Balassi's gone on a free. Besic, I know that was beforehand, but even he's gone in a free. You know, Everton couldn't get any money for these players. I get the shit that Marcel Brands inherited. I get it, and I'm not going to dig him out for that. But when we're talking about moving forward, he was the director of football that knew we needed a right back. He fucking knew. And he still, when he spent millions of pounds on other players like Iwobi, and look, he started this season fantastic, but the jury is still certainly out on Iwobi, for £35 million on a player that you could argue at the time was worth 15 or 20. It's fucking mind-boggling that we haven't signed a right-back in that time. And this transfer window, unfortunately, is an accumulation of all of these mistakes where we've made loss after loss after loss on players, on financial fair play, on turnover of the club. You know, where we're making £139 million losses, £90 million losses. We are now in this shit situation, and Marcel Brands is partly responsible for that. And there's no getting around that. It's not like I'm sitting here executing the guy, but what I'm saying is he's got to take a look at himself after this. He has to. He is the director of football. He is on the board. He knows more than anyone how bad we need a right back, and he hasn't brought one in. Our academy players have all been shipped out. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying Everton are going to have a bad season, because we're not. I think we're going to have a good season. I think a lot of it's down to Rafa Benitez. Mad that I'm saying that, by the way. But we are weak in a lot of positions, and there's no getting around it. You know, you look at Allen and Decore, Gabarmin, if you want to say he's our third best defensive or midfield or whatever category you want to put him in. We're weak in that area, because if they get injured, it's Fabian Delph, Andre Gomez, who doesn't appear to have joined Benfica, and Tom Davies. I'm not going to criticise Tom. I actually think he's looked all right when he's played at times this season and towards the end of last season. But Delph, Gomez, don't do it for me. We've just let Nkunku leave on loan as our left back. Now, again, it doesn't worry me too much, because we've got Ben Godfrey who can step over and be left back, and he did phenomenally well. He was much better at a left back than he was a right back. But we're fitting square pegs in round holes constantly, and that needs to stop. If Everton want to be this team that Mashiri walked in and said we could challenge to be, you know, Denise Barrett-Baxendale stood on stage and said Everton are going to challenge for the top of the league, or they're going to be winning major honours. I remember her saying things on that line. You know, the season tickets that were announced when Mashiri bought his shares, and it come out and it said nothing will be the same. It from a management perspective, it's worse. It's worse. And it has to stop. This transfer window has been both a negative and a really refreshing window for various reasons. And I'll just explain a little bit why I think that. One, it's been refreshing because we haven't spent loads of money, and we've gone and unearthed gems like we used to do with David Moyes, Mikel Arteta, Tim Cahill. These players cost next to nothing and were phenomenal. And I'm hoping Damari Gray, Andros Townsend and Rondon fit in that category. I really, really do. You know, they're not on long contracts, 2 years, 3 years. Fine. There's no huge loss to that. But Everton have got some serious shit to move over the next 12 months. But we said exactly the same last year. And that's what's frustrating. We can't get these big earners off our books. I mean, we've seen it tonight. Look, what I'm about to say is going to trigger some people. But James Rodriguez, for example, over the last 3 weeks, this man on Twitch, in my opinion, has completely disrespected Everton. Completely. For him to come out before the Leeds game and say, I don't even know who Everton are playing, is an utter disgrace. And I ain't forgiving him for that. I will never forgive him for that. Now, I appreciate there is some fans that want to see James Rodriguez play, and that is, you are more than entitled to that opinion. Of course you are. Look, he is a quality footballer. I think the debate about world class is a little bit washed down for me, because I genuinely think there is only 3 or 4 players in the world that are world class. But James Rodriguez is a very good footballer. He can't be world class because nobody wanted to sign him tonight. Porto didn't want to take a punt on him. AC Milan didn't want him. He's not world class, but he's a very good footballer. And if you're desperate to see him play, touch wood, you're going to see it. Or we've now got a mercenary on the books who's on about 150 to 200 grand a week, who doesn't really want to be at our football club, who was literally just going to sit on Twitch. So, look, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some Colombian fans that are happy. I'm sure there'll be some Evertonians that are happy. And look, ordinarily, if he puts in an unreal performance against Burnley in 2.5 weeks' time, I'll be absolutely buzzing for him, and a typical fickle football fan, and be like, yep, love him, so glad he stayed, all of that shit, of course I will. But right now, it hurts that we haven't got this player off the books, and our net spend for this season is plus £2 million because of a loan fee that we've been paid for Moise Kean. It's mad. It's mad. So look, I'll give you a rating on my transfer window. I think it's a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's been a bad window, but I think it has been bad that we have not signed a right back. And I don't blame Rafa. I don't blame us as fans. I blame the board. I blame Marcel Brands. I blame Farhad Mashiri. I blame the management at Everton Football Club, because to not bring a right back in after needing one for 3 or 4 years is a disgrace. Serge Aurier, free transfer, 28 years old, can't defend, probably fits Everton down to a T. So, get him signed, Blues. Guys, you'll see more videos tomorrow. I've got some exciting videos tomorrow. It's been a mad day. The content that I've seen, I mean, the Sky Sports was a fucking horrendous. I'm so glad I don't pay for it. All they've gone on about tonight is Mbappe, Ronaldo, Messi. It's been a repeated circle of shit. It's been horrendous. And then I was going to do a live for the transfer deadline day, but I saw the effort that Kieran and some of the other channels that I support watch and go, you know, and I wouldn't want to take any viewers away because I thought they did a great job. So huge shout out to people like Kieran Rants, who had over 30 people on his channel today. Massive credit to him. He thoroughly deserves all the subscribers he gets. He's going to smash it, this kid. Go over, hit the like button and go over to him, because trust me, he fucking deserves it. And yeah, I mean, a huge thank you to everyone who wished me congratulations today. It was really refreshing. It was lovely to see so many people that I don't necessarily follow, and I've never really always fit in with Evertonians, because, you know, fuck it, my family's not Scouse. My family's Scouse, but I'm not. So, you know, I'm not a proper blue like. But it's been nice and refreshing to see so many people give love. And it also has been disappointing that channels that I've supported and backed and really pushed in their infancy, they couldn't even be asked to congratulate me today. So don't get me wrong, there is probably a little bit of Richarlison in me there, a little bit of pettiness, but you learn your lessons. You know, you support people, you can be kind, and unfortunately sometimes they won't give it back, so fuck them. And you remember that. Anyway, listen, I'm not going to keep ranting. We've smashed 10,000 subscribers today. There is a special video coming out this week. It's took me a long time to make. So please support it and watch it. Hit the likes, and if you are new, subscribe. And yeah, we're going to keep going. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as well, on Twitter. Really would mean a lot. And yeah, look, I'll leave it there. Guys, have a fantastic evening. It's been probably a shit day in the transfer window, a shit deadline day. But let's just be positive moving forward. We're joint second in the league, 7 points, home game against Burnley. We're not in a bad position, us Blues. So let's just keep smiling. Up the toffees. Peace.